Hello everyone and welcome to my Mushin's Tower guide for floors 1 to 7. You can find Mushin's Tower in the Moonwater Plains at the bottom of the map here on this little island. I'll just go over my gear. I'm using the Awakened Siren Staff. I have done it before with the True Profane weapon, but it was quite rough on time for the end boss, but stages 1 to 6 were fine. I've got Awakened Infernal Necklace, Awakened Infernal Earring, Awakened Infernal Ring, a Siren Belt, and a Pirate Bracelet. And for the Soul Shield I used the Bloodshade Soul Shield set. And I've augmented some of these with crit, and you can get these quite easily from the Blackram supply, either the 6-man one or the Alliance one. Just farm the starting mobs, you can get them quite easily as a drop. The 8 shields will yield the best crit. Also, you can get shields with the Soul Shield Wardens. You can augment that, but that requires Soul Stones to augment it. I tried it on one of my shields just to see what kind of result I got. And I managed to get, I'll just show you, a nice one with 114 crit. So it's nice if you've got the money to be able to afford that, but it is a lot more expensive. I'd suggest just kind of farming the Blackram to get enough to augment your shields if you're lacking money. I'll just go over some of the skills that I'm using on my summoner that might help you. So the Rosethorn I've got augmented with additional focus on critical hit, but you could have the additional damage if you prefer that. The second skill I've got is the Sunflower. Another good option for single target is also the Rumblebees. It's just really what you prefer, but for when you've got a lot of mobs, the Sunflower is definitely the best one. For Doom and Bloom, you can choose what you want augmented here. I usually have the Recovers HP, but at the moment I've got the Recovers Focus. It doesn't really matter too much here. So then we've got the Flying Nettles. I've got this just augmented for extra damage. Now this one's really important. This one's your cat charging forward with the stun. This is particularly important for the last one. So it allows you to have a bit more CC to recover from mistakes or give you more time to kind of interrupt things and so on. And this Grasping Roots one, make sure that you have Snare on it, is really helpful and far better than extra damage in my opinion. The Thorn Strike, I've just got that one. I mean, it doesn't really matter which one, it depends what you've got. There are days if you feel like you need a little extra CC as well. Now this Backstep, I've got all 3 of them in here. I don't think that's needed. I'm not sure why I've got the other one in there, but there's probably a few better ones, but I'd definitely put the one in so you can escape from extra stuns and so on. The Seed Shroud, I like this one augmented because it buys you a little bit extra time if you mistime your counters. So you can augment that further just to give yourself a little bit more safety if you're struggling to counter in time. And True Friend, I really recommend this one. This is like a kind of panic button. It can be really useful for recovering from mistakes and for various boss mechanics. And this one here, the Deep Wound, it's not really needed, it's just stops the mobs recovering HP. A lot of them have HP regen, so it helps for that. But I'm more interested for this one for the daze. Again, that will help you control mobs a lot more and give you kind of breathers for mistakes or interrupting moves. Next one I've got here, Ankle Biter, knocks down for 4 seconds. Again, if you're needing the extra kind of CC. Otherwise, if you don't feel you need it, there's damaging ones you can pop in. Here I've got the Crouching Tiger. I've got this for taunting enemies. Now I used to use this a lot more than I do now, but now I kind of more use it as a kind of a panic button just to get hate from the pet when I don't have dodges and so on. The evade, this is quite important, having a grasping effect which snares the mob for 3 seconds. That can be really quite important for covering, especially on the last boss if you get a resist or something, is a good backup. Now here, this one is really good. It increases your cat's HP by a fair bit, and it also reduces its damage it takes against boss attacks. The other one, although it does more damage, I tend to find the cat dies a lot more from it, especially if there's AoE damage. Now the main difference between my single and my AoE builds is I'm using the AoE root. The AoE root snare, so that's just so I can snare more mobs at once. It does less damage than the other one, but it does give it a little bit extra utility. Okay, so let's get started with Mushin's tower. Once you zone in, you want to go behind you and run up these stairs, and it's the first opening on the left. And once inside, you want to collect your daily quests. Remember, there's also one outside you can collect too, and then you speak to this NPC to teleport you to the floors. I'm selecting floor 1 at the moment, but if you want, you can select floor 5 if you buy a ticket from this NPC, which costs 30 silver. And that'll teleport you straight to floor number 5 without having to do the other ones. And this is the first floor. It's fairly straightforward. I'm just gonna change my build to a single target one. There's various flags around the room. Each of these represents a different class. So you can pick whichever one you want, it doesn't matter too much unless you have a preferred class that you'd like to be against. So I'll just pick this destroyer. You need to wait for him to go into the middle of the room before you can start attacking him. He takes his time. I'm currently using the Awakened Siren on my character, but I have done this before with the true profane weapons. Anyone that tells you that gear doesn't make a difference is lying, because although I was able to do it with the true profane, I was really short on time and it was quite easy to make errors and end up kind of like failing because you're having to do the mobs a lot longer, so you've got more time to make mistakes where you can get killed. I'll just pick another one. I'll just go for that one over there. It's the Kung Fu Master. I don't have my dodge up there. I used it earlier by mistake. This is not a perfect run by any means. I do make mistakes, but I think it's important to show people the mistakes so they can learn how to have measures to counter them, like I've done in some of the later fights. Moving on to 4-2, which is against the Silver Deva. So again, I'm just keeping him rooted while damaging him. I'm not using the cat tank. Just try and counter him and then it resets your snare, which is good. As soon as you see him jump, just get that dandelion ready. Try and avoid the fires. If you keep him snared, if you get in trouble, you've got your cat taunt you can use. Okay, and now we're on the 3rd floor. I'm just changing my build to an AoE one, which has an AoE bind in it. I just want to send my count first, and I'm going to bind the mobs and just take them out. I accidentally used my taunt there. Just be careful when you're using the sunflower, as it does hit quite far in advance, and as you can see I've aggroed some extra mobs in the distance. I'm just going to use my Petal Storm to resist to the ranged attacks. And I'm sure if you've got really good gear you could probably clear the whole room out quite quickly. But I think if you've got gear that needs improving, that you should just take your time, just kill in small little groups. But do kill in between the spawns or otherwise all will come at you at the end. It looked like there, I'm not sure, but it looks like once you kill the red guy that they all disappear. So I guess that could make for faster runs. I'll need to test that further though. So we got the last one coming in. Let's get these dead quickly. I'm just keeping him rooted while trying to dodge when he jumps at me, which resets my root timer and then I reroute him again. And now we're on floor 4. You want to go over to this NPC here and buy a HP pill for 50 copper. And then you can choose to give it to any one of these NPCs, and they're going to aid you in the fight. It doesn't really matter which one that you pick, but they all have a different role, so it just depends on which you prefer. You can use your AoE route to bind those little ones as well. They don't have a whole lot of HP, just really annoying. Just kind of move around to kite them so you're not taking additional damage if you don't manage to catch them. Got some ads coming in. Oh, because my route's not up, I'm just gonna be kiting around. You can, if you want, get your cat to vote, but I don't really find much problems kiting it. I'll just get my cat to vote them. You can also use them to activate your counter to keep the boss snared as well. If you're wondering why my focus is keeping up so much, it's because I'm kind of using a sort of weaving or kind of skill cancelling technique where I click the rose thorn followed by the sunflower, so I'm keeping topping up my focus on each hit. It's difficult to see when you see my character playing because it just looks like I'm using the sunflower. But it's a good technique of increasing your DPS. So we're on to the 5th floor. This boss is a bit of a DPS race. I'm just going to change my skill to give me more damage for single targets. These green circles on the ground give you buffs. This one's given me increased focus regeneration. Just keeping them vine moving around. Gonna throw a stone at me to quickly counter that. You can also use your petal storm for that too, since it's a ranged attack. So I dodged his roll with my counter, so I've got a refresh on my snare, so I used that. green circles are up. So they eventually disappear. It doesn't really matter which one you pick, because you might go through them all, especially if you've got the awakened. I mean the true profane weapon. I missed my counter there. Just get my cat to vote. I'll just really use him as a backup now. Oh, he was rooted there, that's why he didn't come forward. Use my Petal Storm to counter the rock. Sometimes it's hard to see the roots on this guy because he's so big. But you can see on his debuff bar when the roots are wearing off. Another green circle here. Okay, so we're on to the 6th floor. This is a random boss. Sometimes you get a golden pig, which will give you a free pass to the floor, so you don't have to fight anything. So you speak to this NPC, you buy one of these life essence, so you can use the wheel over here. I've got the Azure Lord. So I'm just binding him and then attacking him. I stay behind him so he doesn't throw that ice stuff at you. And I'm just purposely getting hit so I can counter here. I'll just go behind again. You also get a bit more damage on one of your skills as well from being behind the mob. I've used my counter by mistake there, so backflip, and then I'm using my True Friend ability to avoid the extra pins on the ground that he's doing. You just want to keep repeating that. And here he's doing that move again, so backflip, and then True Friend. The other thing you can do when he's readying that move is stun him with your cat. So we're on to 4-7, which is by far the hardest fight in the tower so far. You might want to change your pet to a damage dealing one. This can help especially if you're approaching the rage timer. So I'm just sending my cat in, he's stunned, getting him to cart. Then because I've done roots while he was lying on the ground, it's got a reduced cooldown. We'll counter here when he's charging. You want to move away. You need to move before the red circle comes or you'll get hit. I don't know if maybe that's a latency thing for me. You just want to keep him bound as much as you can. When he's doing that, move. So just not use your cat to knock him down to give yourself time to DPS. So he's gonna summon ice. So try not getting caught in more than one stack of that, but if you have to, just kind of go in the circle of one. Okay, now he's going to be resisting everything. So this is where it can get a bit nasty. So use your counters, or your true friend if you can. And as soon as you get the opportunity to, when your cat's in range, knock him down to try and break his kind of sequence of attacks. If that's one thing that gets me in the fight, is that. So he's doing that move again. It's really damaging, so just try and counter when you can. Use your cat to knock him down, anything just to try and stop him. It's getting closer. I hope that somewhat helped you with your trip to Mushin's tower. If you've got any questions that you'd like to know, or feel that I didn't explain something that you'd like to know about, please write in the comments below. And thanks for watching.